Alright, hello and welcome everyone here to CEVO Season 4 Playoffs for Dota 2. We've got eHug going up against CNB eSports. I'm Helium, and joining me, as you can see, we've got Chicago Ted.
Hey Helium, if the camera's on, you see everything that's going on. I can point at the camera and be sexy as fuck?
Yes, you can.
Alright, we'll do then. So how you doing tonight, man?
Pretty good. I'm excited for this matchup. It's a shame, though, for those of you that don't know, it's a lower bracket match, so whoever loses tonight in this best of three will actually be going home.
Yeah, it is really a shame. Both of these teams are incredibly good in the American scene and have been trading off fairly equally in the past, and it's a shame to see that. This is still round one, and one of them has to go home, so not really looking forward to seeing one of them go home, but I am looking forward to this game.
Yeah, and we can take a look through the brackets to see their history. So the cameras were short-lived. I'm glad I worked so hard on setting up everything and squaring it away. But taking a look at the brackets real fast, we can see that eHug played against Top 5. Top 5 took that series 2-1. A bit of an upset. Potential throw by Jigobilly, not in terms of play, but, you know, maybe questionable items. The Ags Refresher, Luna. Was interesting. Or maybe he didn't have the Ags. I think it was just Refresher Luna. And then the other game, which no one got to see because the Sneaky Nyx Assassins lived up to their name, it was Sneaky Nyx Assassins going against CNB eSports. Obviously, Snom moves on, and we find ourselves with CNB eSports and eHug here in the lower bracket. So before we get started, what do you think here, lower bracket round one? Predictions? Who's going through?
I'm going to have to say CNB, and that's only because looking at the recent history, eHug has just been struggling a little bit. We have seen that they seem to have some pretty good early game, good strides, but then they start to just lose focus and really start to hit the hay a little too early, whereas CNB have been solid pretty recently. So I'm going to look for them at least a 2-1 game. CNB are going to go on to the next round.
All right, I'm gonna flip it around completely. I'm gonna say 2-1 eHug. I think that they'll maybe be a little more serious about it this time. They might. No offense to Top 5, as they've been playing on point recently, but Team eHug might respect CNB eSports a little bit more and might bring a better game forward. And as you guys might be able to tell, we are here into the draft. So we can look at this. We've got Centaur, Nyx Assassin being banned out by CNB eSports. eHug, Lycan, Batrider are gone, and an Invoker on the first pick.
Yeah, I really like this Invoker first pick. It sort of says that CNB are looking towards a very undetermined lineup where you can run the Crosswex Invoker, who is going to be ganking often and really trying to control team fights, or you can run the Cross Exhort Invoker, who is going to be putting on a lot of damage and likely winning the middle lane. And it forces eHug to have to draft to deal with whichever they go for. These first two picks, they have to just They have to really anticipate both of those styles. And they're going to go for the Mirana Sand King, which are two very long stuns in the early game and potentially going to be laning together.
Yeah, I'm surprised when you've got that first round, or the first two picks, because you have the second round of picks. Why not just go for the Mirana Bane or Mirana Shadow Demon? The win rate between those two heroes when together is astronomical. It's above 60%. If you can get Shadow Demon, Dazzle, and Mirana, you're looking at like a 70 or 80% win rate. Instead, they switch it up. They go with the Sand King. Again, you mentioned it. Very long stun, 2.17 seconds. So I think the longest level 1 stun, if not the second. Dragonite is also pretty good.
Dragonite has the longest point target, and Sand King has the longest area of effect.
Yeah,
if that
so
makes
there
any
you go.
sense.
So you can line up the arrow with that fine.
Yeah.
It'll be okay. Sand King gets a Blink Dagger. He then is very hard to push into, so that makes CNB, puts them in an awkward place. Like, they need to end the game, potentially. We haven't seen the rest of the draft, and they're having trouble pushing into a Sand King, all the while Mirana and maybe one more core, because she's usually not alone, and her carry duties are just farming up all the time while Sand King is just defending everything.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that the Dazzle hasn't been banned out quite yet. That is a hero that goes very well with any sort of auto-attacking team and keep anyone alive. Team eHug would probably be picking up the Dazzle in this lineup, as it's just such a strong pickup to have. A roaming support in conjunction with a Sand King can meta kill pretty much anywhere. That long distance slow sets up the Burrow Strike really well, but at the same time, putting it on the side of CNB eSports could also be beneficial. So he hasn't been banned out yet, and that's really surprising to me. And Ancient Apparition was banned out, which means that CNB might be thinking to go for it. So, I mean, it's one of those things that I'm looking forward to. But you mentioned how when you pick up the Mirana, you might want to go with the Disruptor or the Shadow Demon first, and yeah, but they're also two quasi-easily counterable heroes, whereas Sand King, if you get in range of that stun, you're taking a lot of damage. So the only issue is you have to be in range of the stun.
Yeah, and we've been seeing Sand King players do a lot of work recently, just getting up massive items, getting on kill streaks. So always going to be a pleasure to watch. And now the lanes get maybe a little more not confusing, but a little less crowded because we've got Enchantress picked up. So that's going to be Sheep 100%. I was asking him for Enchantress lessons last night. He said no. So maybe this is what I get in return.
Well, you're going to get schooled right here, man, as Enchantress does get picked up, and well, that's an interesting hero to pick up. I mean, obviously, we're going to be seeing the Enchantress taking the jungle. Whether it's an offensive or defensive jungling Enchantress is up to them. But that's a really interesting way to set up. If you pick up a troll, then that perfectly sets up the Burrow Strike, which is going to be really cool to watch. I mean, the Enchantress has to be ganking in the early game to be effective, but if the ganks are successful, you're giving kills to Mirana, and that is the one thing that makes Mirana a strong carry, is if she gets kills, she snowballs with those very hard.
And we see some more nature picked up there. Treant Protector scooped up third here by CNB eSports. We'll see how they want to utilize that, either to make Invoker a little more active, make him dive a little further than he could without living armor, or whatever their next two picks are going to be can also benefit from that. Also makes you commit to the push, as you know, we and every other caster out there talk about time and time again. Every time a Treant is picked up, when you get to a tower, it just forces the other team to kill it. And Templar Assassin, so we've got the Refraction online. That's going to make Invoker's job a little bit harder. He doesn't have any quick damage to sort of deal with that. And a good TA player, which is obviously what we're going to find in Justin here for eHug, can do very well against that Invoker.
So this is kind of forcing Invoker's hand. It makes him a little more inclined to pick up the Cross Exort, because those double Forge Spirits are going to burn through her refraction charges fast, and that's really the only Invoker that can win against a Templar Assassin in lane at decently equal skill levels. So that's probably going to be the case. Treant Protector, you mentioned forcing the push. That's what Enchantress does, though. She comes into a lane and she forces the push, and she commits to the push. So it's going to be really interesting to see the dynamic at the Tier 1 towers of CNB Esports Club's side of the map once Enchantress starts picking up a couple of creeps and forcing pushes onto towers.
Yeah, CNB have some counter push though, right? They've got.
Yeah.
They might even opt to put a couple more points into Clockwork's Rocket Flare just to keep creep off the tower. Shadow Poison, obviously, you know, these days you keep Disruption at 1, you max out your Soul Catcher and your Shadow Poison when you're playing the Shadow Demon. So that can stop the push a little bit, but when you inch forward to throw those out, you've got to watch out for Sand King with a flanking Burrow Strike, or maybe even Mirana just landing an arrow without any setup, because that could kill you. And if Evoker, if he wants to go for that Quas Wax, then you've got Tornado EMP. That's also pretty scary to push into.
Yeah, but it will struggle in lane versus his Templar Assassin. As I said, forcing the hand.
He's got
of
living
Invoker.
armor at least.
Yeah, at the very least, living armor should help. But a meld strike into a psionic trap, living armor is not going to help you for too long. So, I mean, it's just going to be interesting to watch the dynamic happen in this mid lane and at the Tier 1 towers when we start to see Team eHug get aggressive. And Clockwork is one of those heroes that's really good against teams that get over aggressive, because one out of position hero getting hooked is almost guaranteed a death. Now, of course, you're in one place for a long time, the arrow will land on you, but you've got a lot of defense, and if you hook in and then suddenly Clockwork feels bad about it, you've got plenty of spells to cover his ass and just make sure that he doesn't get focused down. So CNB are drafting a really smart lineup for the sort of anti-push, anti-aggression. The only issue is right now is they don't really have too much that scales, whereas Team eHug right now have 5 heroes that can transition seamlessly into the late game.
10 seconds.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, even Sand King becomes pretty terrifying with his ability to flash farm with that Caustic Finale. And Clockwork, I mean, if he's roaming around looking for solo pickoffs, he's going to need to be getting Dust or Sentries on his person, because obviously Templar Assassin can meld away, and then Mirana has Moonlight Shadows for anyone else who gets caught. Bounty Hunter is invisible, so he needs, because the battery assault does not hit invis target, so he's going to have to carry some reveal around, and given the lineup that eHug has, I'm pretty sure everyone will be carrying Dust.
Oh yeah, they've got so much invisibility. I think every hero, again, aside from Enchantress, has an invisibility spell. So that's going to be interesting. You know, CNB might actually
She's
pick
got
up a
the
Zeus.
natural camouflage in the Radiant jungle.
Oh yeah, maybe
Spranking
CNB wants
around
to
in the
run
trees.
the carry Invoker though and pick up a Zeus. You know, that new lightning bolt.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, except Zeus is gonna die and like
Yeah,
immediately.
I think
Sideblade, Shuriken,
yeah,
dead.
one impetus. That's it
Impetus.
for Zeus. I don't know, a 4-staff plus a couple of bracers, and Zeus could live through most of it. Oh.
Got disruption too.
It's going to be a Viper, though, and that is interesting. So CNB have an incredibly early to mid-game lineup right now, and we're going to have to watch and see if they can make that work. Invoker solo carrying against what eHug has is not going to work. But before Sand King gets his blink, before Enchantress starts getting a lot of damage in her impetus, and before Mirana gets off, before any of them get off the ground, CNB are going to be a force to be reckoned with, and that is really going to show. If eHug can start snowballing, start to really double down on their early game, then they should be able to take this game fairly easily once we start hitting the 30 to 40 minute mark. But if CNB they hold their ground and don't give anything to eHug, then 25 minutes this game could be called.
Yeah, something interesting here. ADR is on the Shadow Demon. He's the usual mid player. eHug knows this. Anyone that sort of follows this level of North American, South American Dota knows that he plays mid. So they're maybe utilizing some mind games here. Going to swap those heroes potentially. We'll have to wait and see because got ourselves a pause.
Oh yeah, the always eSport pause coming out. And
we can use cameras again. Yes.
Wait, what?
I said we can use our cameras again.
Oh, I'm on camera now?
Gotta roll down my sleeves.
God damn it. All right. Well, I'm taking a look at CNB side, and I'm just looking at the barrel rolling Viper, you know, production value coming out. In fact, I'm going to see if I can showcase this.
Oh, we gotta go back.
No, it won't let me showcase. Whatever.
For who?
The Viper. Ah, there we go.
Got it.
He was doing a somersault like 10, 15 feet.
Oh, because he was
in the air.
spawning in.
Yeah, I wanted to showcase that, but unfortunately it wouldn't let me. Ah, well, such is life. We're into this game, though, so why don't we go ahead and introduce the teams?
Yeah, we're going to start with CNB because I'm curious. We've got ADR. He actually will be supporting up on the Shadow Demon. All right, so he's taking a different role, it looks like. He'll be supporting there. Mid lane, it will be King RD here. Were we saying that? King Gordon, maybe, what his name was? I don't know. King RD for now. He's playing the Invoker. Bottom lane, we've got Ned Bone playing on that Clockwork. Baga up top on the Treant Protector. And then farming in that lane, it's going to be Tavo, who's normally their offlane player. So CNB, I haven't seen them in a little while. It looks like they have switched up the roles a little bit.
All right, so looking at eHug, not so on the other side of the river. It's going to be Cakes playing up the Bounty Hunter in the off-lane suicide position. I'm a Sheep Sucks is going to be on the Enchantress in the jungle. Pandago will be on the Sand King. Jigglebilly will be playing his natural carry role on the Mirana. And for the mid lane, we have Justin playing the Templar Assassin. Now, taking a look at the side of eHug, they have, or the side of CNB, they've got a really offensive ward right now in the off lane for Ned on the Clockwork. And the interesting thing about this ward is typically you see that sentry wards get placed right here. So I think that's just barely on the outside of the range of the sentry ward that typically gets placed. And that gives good vision for the Clockwork. You can see all the way up to the edge of the cliff, pretty much, and deep inside the common gang positions. So that's going to help him get some good vision, as well as just stay alive.
No, I'm using that word from now. I usually place it around these rocks or here, just because it gives you vision of anyone rotating. It doesn't block the camp, because a lot of times you don't want to anymore since the changes, now that you can pick up that split experience. So if you know they're pulling and you know where they are, then you can just go around behind and maybe pick up some XP. But I really like the spot. It's clever.
Well, the only issue
with that... he will be
that,
facing just a duo lane, so Clockwork should be able to get a lot out of that anyways.
Top
lane, though, yeah. Cakes, they got the dust for him. He's going to be slowed up. He tries to go invis. There's the Leech Seed doing a ton of damage, as it does do early on. And that's going to be Baga the Treant hitting for 86, picking up that early first blood.
Yeah, a Treant Protector with the first blood. That's going to help him get early boots. And when you've got a fast Treant Protector, that's a really scary predicament to be on, especially when you're a bounty hunter and the enemy has dust and sentry. So yeah, he's going to pick up a fast boot, and that's going to help this lane tremendously. Now, Cakes is just going to have to sit back, and I don't think he can really do anything in this lane right now.
Yeah, that first blood on tree is actually really good because, like you said, he picks up the boots, you hit people in the face, you're fast, no one can really do anything about it. And now, this matchup we talked about middle, it's kind of hard for Invoker. Well, if ADR wants, he can just rotate over and they can sort of dual lane on this Templar Assassin and ensure that Invoker is going to get some farm. And if he gets enough farm, he can just go for Midas and catch up with his levels later on.
All right, so one thing I'd like to know is Invoker is indeed going Quas Exhort for those Forge Spears to try to burn down the Templar Assassin, but there is going to be a rotation in for My Machine Sucks. He's got the Troll, and now with the net, this should be a dead King RD. He doesn't have any Wex, so he cannot Ghost Walk. Now Justin just burning him down with auto attacks, and that will be a kill going the way of eHug. Meanwhile, Cakes dropping another in the top lane.
Yeah, alright, well there's my Enchantress lessons. Get that Dark Troll Warlord smoke up, go around mid lane, get a solo kill. But you do need a mid hero capable of killing, like this Templar Assassin. You've got that net, the Meld Strike hits, Refraction up to level 3 already. It's doing a ton of damage, and King RD takes a quick fall.
Yeah, so 2-1 right now. It's going to be a really aggressive early game, as we could probably tell by these drafts. But with CNB getting 2 kills in this lane, that is really difficult to play against. I mean, you do not want Viper to be 1-0-1 at 2 minutes, and certainly don't want him to be snowballing out of control when you're relying on Mirana, who's typically not the earliest or midest carry. You do not want to be fighting that Viper with a Mirana. So that's definitely a point of this draft that is not going well for them. But they do get the kill in the mid lane, which favors Templar Assassin Justin very much, and him snowballing is just as scary as a Viper. So hopefully
he's 12 and 11 right now.
On top of it, oh yeah, he is. That's what 23 CS at wow.
Yeah,
He's
and only 2-1
up.
right now for King Grand. I was informed. I looked over at the chat during that pause. It's King Grand, I think, is what he goes by. Not sure if that's a great answer or someone else was just spitballing ideas, but it seems good enough to me. So yeah. King Grand here on the Invoker goes for that Null Talisman, goes for the Quas Exhort to get the last hits over the Templar Assassin, but he's already taken a fall, and his lane is not getting any easier, so he's going to need something to happen here, whether it be rotations from the tree, from the Shadow Demon. I think if anyone... or Cake's rotating over, looking to get involved. He needs to pick up levels somehow, so he'll do it here. Double damage on Justin. Refraction has ticked off. The tower's bringing him down. Do we have a Sunstrike right now? Rocket comes in, and it will be off the mark just slightly.
Sunstrike available in 10 seconds, but Justin using that bottle plus a salve to get himself back up, the refraction charge to protect his bottle, and now he's just going to be able to stay alive. So King RD, or King Grand, almost keeping...
Here comes Sheep smoked up as well. Oh, the Dark Troll. He goes out with the net. Here comes the Satyr Blast as well. The Hadoken coming through. Justin with the double damage still just running out. Meld shot for the kill. Justin picks it up. That's his second right now. So 2 kills, and 18 and 14. And meanwhile, bottom lane, Sand King burrow striking under the cogs. Almost brought down Nedbone, so he's sitting pretty low as well.
Yeah, so 2 kills already for Justin in this mid lane. That's, what is that coming out to on the courier? That's his boots on top of the bottle, so it's going to help a little bit on top of the Wraith Band. But, yeah, I mean, these constant ganks in onto Invoker, they forced the issue. They made him go Quas Exhort, and now they're going to punish it by constantly ganking him. He doesn't have any way to get away from these ganks because Ghost Walk is not going to be available until he gets a point into Wex. So this is just great play coming out from eHug in the mid lane, but I wish I could say the same about their top because their tower is getting very close to falling.
Yeah, I mean, this is always the limitation of Bounty Hunter, right? Like, he's great, he can do a lot, he can get you tracks, but when anyone, even a pushing lineup that's not necessarily that strong, is pushing your tower, he can't do anything to stop it. So that top tier 1 has fallen, and I would say if you're going to pick up Bounty Hunter, it's maybe even wiser to pick it up on the Radiant because those towers in the safe lane, or the off lane, are not that important. But they do give away quite a bit of gold, and that's going to help Invoker.
Yeah, it gives him a little bit of a boost that he needs, but he's already dropped 2 in this mid lane, so he really needs some heavy steroids to get himself back into the game. Yeah, and actually, CNB, they're pushing deep in this top lane, and still no rotations. They're getting some decent damage on this top tower, and nothing really to stop it. Meanwhile, Jigobilly looking to try to line up the edge, but so far, no real aggression going out on him despite having the spell, so... Got to keep an eye on this lane. Anything can happen. In fact, the Starstorm right now could drop Ned to critical levels. But Jigobilly going to hold it, and that'll be the end of that. Meanwhile, King RD is going to pull behind and get some pretty good levels.
And his boots finally get delivered, so at least he's a little more survivable. He can run away with his 330 move speed, but that's already the third smoke being purchased up here by Enchantress. So when you see I'm a Sheep on this Enchantress, expect him to be aggressive and in your face. He's level 5 at 5 minutes, or okay, 6 minutes with already 2 rotations looking for a third. So he's doing very, very well. This is allowing Pandago to pretty much have the jungle stack up, and I don't know. I question maybe running Sand King as the 5th role, like Pandago. I mean, Pandago normally plays the 6th role, and Sand King's a hero who is pretty dependent on that Blink Dagger, but doing a great job down here pulling.
Well, the issue is, I mean, he kind of has to. They picked him up as sort of a quasi-solo support, where Enchantress is going to be kind of jungling support, but not hard, picking up the wards and stuff. So they drafted themselves into a hole with that lineup, where they are forced to run Sand King in that position. Of course, there are probably better heroes to put in that, but their lineup is late game oriented, and they want a hero that, given enough time, will be able to pick up those items anyway. And if they can keep him alive, that'll happen. Yep.
There's the Burrow Strike to start things off. The arrow will land. Now he's looking for the cogs. The Starfall, though, is going to hit twice. He doesn't even get to cast an ability because of that 4, maybe 5-second stun, so he gets brought down. It's 3-2 here for eHug.
Yep, and Mirana sitting on 2k gold right now. Has got some items going to be coming out to her very soon. 4 points in Starstorm, though. That is heavy, heavy damage, and just saw how much that was.
525.
Right, yeah.
If it hits twice.
40R, though, he's going to wait in the trees. They want to try to make a go on Justin. Now, Illusions will burn out the refraction charges fairly quick if they can get a good jump on her. So they're going to wait for her to get a little aggressive with the Cold Snap. That should be the lead off, but 40R wasn't quite ready for it, and I don't think he revealed himself, so Justin is not quite aware of it just yet. Hold on now, we've got 3 heroes rotating in, and now Justin backs off 40R, just not quick enough.
Did he have a trap up there? Like, I guess just good game sense to back off. Not seeing Clockwork in the bottom lane for a while, so as soon as he gets that last hit there, he just runs away and lives, which is nice. Clockwork only level 4 right now. We look at Bounty Hunter. Well, he died twice immediately, but he rotated, got a kill, got an assist to his name, and now he's already level 6, so he's way ahead of this Clockwork. Track is online, and if eHug starts to get more kills with the track and people around, it's going to be pretty scary here for CNB.
Yeah, right now eHug are on top of their rotations. If they can stay on top of it, I see them having no problem transitioning to the mid game, but that still doesn't excuse the fact that this tri-lane is going very well for CNB. They're getting good farm on their cores right here, and even Treant is looking pretty decent right now. So eHug, if they can make this rotation work in mid lane, though, it already looks like there's going to be a gank on Justin, but this could be turn around fairly quickly as Cakes going in from the back lines, as well as I'm a Sheep sucks, but 40R is going to reveal it. There's a cold snap down onto Justin. Cakes looking for the track, got the Shuriken out, looking for the Janata. Now with the meld, he gets disrupted defensively under tower. They're looking for the kill, though. Can they find it? They will. That's going to go to the way of Justin. Meanwhile, Nedbone trying to pick up Pandago, who's going on to 40R, going to TP out. No stun for him just yet. He will get away. Nedbone now, a couple of impetuses. There's the auto attack. He's going to get dropped. Tavo going on to Justin. That damage over time, burning out the refraction, but Justin going to get the triple kill out onto the Treant Protector. Now Tavo is going to get focused down. There's an ultra kill going the way of Justin at 9 minutes. CNB give away every bit of advantage that they had.
Yeah, wow. Clockwork came in, and my initial thought was, this is going to be fantastic here for CNB. Like, this Cogs is going to disrupt this so hard, but eHug clearly practicing the Delta split. They just booked it. Clockwork wasn't able to do anything. He disrupted them a little bit, but he disrupted TA to one side, who just finished off the Invoker, and then you had the Bounty Hunter, the Sand King, and the Healing Enchantress on the other side, and they were able to, sustain with that heal and get a few kills, or get people low, because obviously Justin killed everybody. He picks up an ultra kill, and at least 2 of those were tracks. So we look at the gold graph after that, and it's an immediate jump up towards eHug. 4,000 gold now, almost 7,000 experience already in favor of eHug here. It's 7-2 at only 10 minutes.
Yeah, CNB just didn't quite respect the damage output coming out from Justin. And, it's kind of difficult when you're playing against a Templar Assassin. That damage sneaks up on you, especially with the meld. That is a lot of outgoing damage for the hero. And when you've got a counter rotation, which, again, eHug on top of their rotations, that just opened up so much room for Justin to get the auto attacks off.
Bottom lane, arrow from downtown again. Pandago, of course, started off with the Burrow Strike, and that's an easy kill. Starfall will land twice once more. Mirana picking up another kill. Has a Midas to his name. I'm pretty sure that's the second use, so he picked it up around 8 minutes with the treads. Maybe he just got it delivered. I don't really know. Sand King, though, buying the mana boots. I see a Blink Dagger getting picked up for someone as well. That couldn't have been Pandago already, was it?
That's Templar.
Templar, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
So Justin will be going for that. Oh, I noticed a bug, by the way. So he's as Justin right now, but if you look at his courier, the Blink Dagger says Gamer, which was his name in the lobby.
Oh, Volvo. Volvo, why you ruined the game for us? That's my entire experience gone because of that. The immersion completely broken.
Unless it just knows. I haven't really figured out how these new colored titles work, but it looks like we've got more pressing matters on our hand because Nedbone is going to in some trouble once more.
Well, if Pandago can find the stun, then Nedbone is in trouble, but it doesn't look like he's going to get close enough, which is smart play by him, realizing the potential for 5 heroes to be able to go on him at once, which there were 5 heroes rotated in, so great play. And now CNB. They're 8-2, right? Or they're 2-8 right now. There is a Moonlight Shadow out. They really need to double down right now in order to pull this game back because, again, they really don't have any late game potential. So if they want to be able to win the mid game, they need to kind of stay back, find good controlled pickoffs, and not let themselves get into those situations where they give ultra kills to the Templar Assassin.
Yeah, they definitely weren't looking to do that. I mean, that was a pretty close fight. They'd almost brought down a couple of people, but they weren't able to kill the Enchantress. I mean, they don't have a lot of bursting magic damage that was able to bring down Enchantress, whereas there is quite a bit of burst, and most of it's physical damage on the side of eHug.
Nedbone's going to find Pandago, though, but not able to get the cogs off fast enough. Even if he did, the Burrow Strike was there. Yeah, he's just going to chase right now, and Pandago should take a fall here. This is pretty good for them. Try to slow down the Blink Dagger coming out from the Sand King. He already got his Arcane Boots, so that's not going to get slowed, but some good XP and gold going their way, and lucky haste rune.
About to give up a kill up top. Tavo chases him into the trees here and will bring him down. Jigglebilly falls. That's his first death of the game. 2-1. He's sitting on 89 CS, 20 denies with that Midas. Viper with the Midas of his own. Not sure what time he picked it up. Invoker finally getting his recovery Midas, so he's on the road to recovery. He's checked into rehab right now.
One thing I should have mentioned is whenever you see a game of CNB versus eHug, it's going to be Midas Gaming. Both teams love this item so much that they pick it up on almost every single hero. eHug has been known, Pandago rather, has been known to pick it up on his supports as well. So it's just kind of funny to watch how many Midases come out. I think I watched a game where they had 5 at once spread up across both teams. So King RD, though, in a lot of trouble. Justin's there as well as Cakes. Hyper Tavo will come in, but that's too much damage.
Well, Tavo could have used his mechanism. I feel like it still maybe wouldn't have been enough, although as we can see, Ghostwalk didn't actually get cast before he died, so they might have been able to save him. I don't know. It would have been really close. Tavo should have still used the mech, but he did just pick it up, so maybe he didn't think about it.
Well, the mech gives the health and the armor, which is important to count when you're talking about the Meld Strike from the Templar Assassin. So that could have saved his life. You're right. If he had popped that mech, didn't quite see that. But again, it's all reaction times. I don't think he realized if he was in range or not. So
he literally just had it delivered, so he might not have even figured it out. Like, oh, I have a mech. Sometimes you need to look at your item to be like, I need to use this.
Well, if they do drop this game, you can bet they're going to look at this replay, see that, and realize that they need to be on top of their items and make sure that they get those mechs off. Yep. Hook in onto Cakes. Now Tavo's there, dropping out the auto attacks. You can see the Nether Toxin really coming into effect. They will pick up that kill, but not without a return. The net down to Nedbone. He does get away. The clap was there, but now here's the enchant. Justin with the blink, showing it off, going in onto Nedbone. The kill is there. Meanwhile, they can't quite find the Enchantress. Now Justin with the haste rune and the Psionic Trap. They'll just go on him. He tries to TP away, but Pandago with that rotation blocks the TP. Now a double kill going the way of Justin, who is 8-0 right now at 14 minutes.
Yeah, and Sheep actually TP'd out of there to live, so he didn't even go down. I know there was a Sunstrike, and I assume it was searching for the Enchantress. I don't know if it hit or if it missed, but whatever it wasn't enough damage to bring him down. Now Justin, like you said, 8-0, looking to blink out into the mid lane, forcing those supports off, almost one-shots ADR as he is tracked up, retreating back to base. So it's a good thing eHug doesn't have Sunstrike.
Well, once Templar Assassin picks up that Crystallis, that is going to be a one-shot. And I imagine that's going to be the next item coming out, as she's amassing quite a bit of gold. And it could be Crystallis, it could be Desolator. I really hope it's the crits, but that's going to be devastating. One-shot supports, pretty much guarantees a win right now. And they're going to go on to King RD. And yeah, not much to say as Blink in, Meld, Impetus, dead.
It's like a game of Invoker Fireworks.
Yeah,
the new death animation.
See how many times you can make him do that death animation. Right now, I mean, he's hit the sack 5 times. Now they're going to go on to
now in some trouble.
Yep.
Yeah, he gets the cogs up, so this is, you know, causing some confusion at least. He will try to hook out. TP's coming into this tier 1, which is still alive. Would be nice if eHug can take that, but a long-range Impetus. Nice disruption here by the Shadow Demon. That's ADR. Nedbone will he go down. The Centaur doing work. It finally falls. The Shuriken will get the kill. Now the Burrow Strike over to Tavo. Tavo, the roots coming out from Baga, holding 2, maybe even 3 of eHug. Will they be able to bring anyone down? Cakes barely surviving. Epicenter on the top of the hill looking to kill ADR. They get him. Not sure if it was a track. King Gordon now respawns. Pandago finally drops. Now still fighting here in the trees next to the enemy tier 1. Sheep decides to TP out once more. Arrow scouting, and they will be able to retreat out. Cakes lives. Pandago sacrifices himself for the bounty hunter, the more important target here to get away.
Not done though. He knows where Trion is.
He's playing crazy, man. He's worth a lot of gold right now.
If he can go for it though, I mean, right now it's Cakes causing confusion, but yeah, he's just gonna blink out. Cakes is way too low to really do anything in this fight. He does get away though. They pop the sentries, but they really need the trap. Hold on, can Nedbone figure it out? No, doesn't see him in time. Oh man, these trees right here, too strong. And
Vision OP.
Yeah, that's a definite missed opportunity there.
All right, well, it's 17 minutes in. There's been so much action, and I haven't cast in like 5 days. I forgot to switch over to the net worth little side tab there. We've got 8.1k here on Jigglebilly's Marana, 8.1 here on Justin as well on the Templar Assassin. A decent 6.3 here on Tavo's Viper, and Invoker doing surprisingly well at 5k.
Hold on, there's a hook in.
He's got that recovery.
They found Justin. Can they kill him though? I mean, it looks like Nedbone biting off a bit more than he can chew, but Justin, he's gonna go down. That's 1,000 gold to the Invoker now. They're going to get a return kill onto 4DR, but Cakes will drop as well. There's a Burrow Strike catching out too. Now Pandago regretting that one as Tavo turning around, dealing the damage. It's going to be the Force Spear getting that kill. Tavo will drop the Jigglebilly though. And now here's Justin buying back. He's got the blink. One shot in. King RD will end up dropping. Here comes Nedbone just taking so much damage. Going to cogs in Justin and drop as well. Justin saying, you start the fight with the cogs, I'm going to end the fight with the cogs. And that will be the end of that. Justin grabbing another 2 kills. And wow, that buyback doing some great work in that.
Yeah, hurt Justin's net worth a little bit, but I mean, they wiped the team, and finally they're going to take out this pesky tier 1, which is really the only reason that CNB has been able to react to any of this aggression, is because that tower was still standing. So there you go. Strategic team fight buyback, nicely played by everybody. And now they might look to go top and also take out that tier 1. It's sitting at half HP. Treant needs to be healing it up, but most of his living armors have been going to his teammates.
Yeah, that's kind of that's one of the strengths of a aggressive damage dealing lineup, is that if you force them to have to use that living armor on the teammates, then they won't be using it on towers, and then they don't really have to commit to these pushes as much as they would have to if it was a passive game. Cakes, he's going to be hooked under the sentry ward, and he's just going to drop. There is nothing more said and done. Justin, the savior, cannot come in and save him. So they're going to go ahead and take that kill to the bank and rotate up to the top lane to defend this tower. And now they should be using some living armor as it drops down to 300 damage.
Good D-ward as well. Dropping that sentry and those choke points that are common to ward right now when you are playing aggressive. And obviously this is a really common ward when you want to push down this tier 1 tower in the top lane. And especially with far initiators like Clockwork, you want to pick him off first because he's the one causing the issues right now. He just was rather composed, standing next to the bounty hunter there in the jungle the entire time. They knew he was there, the bounty hunter. They just waited for everyone to show up, and they got a nice clean kill on him. Split the XP as well, which they're probably in need of. We flip over to the graphs. eHug got themselves out to a 12k experience advantage. Now they're floating around 10, and it looks to be leveling off there. About 8, maybe 9,000 gold advantage here for eHug at 20 minutes. It's 19 to 10, so eHug, they're looking really good right now, but CNB still has some fight in them, and, well, it's anyone's game at this point.
Yeah, CNB are not down and out yet. Viper still has a little bit of room to grow, and if he can grow fast enough, then they should be able to have some decent shot. And they also have some pretty good a chance for surprise initiations coming out. As Baga, he does have Nature's Guys, can drop a couple of people under the aegis of that. And a good initiation with the the overgrowth, as we've seen in the past, can end up turning team fights in favor of CNB. Now, the only issue is they got to be able to pick off Justin. Now, he's alone, though, and he's going to be walking under the sentry ward. Do they have a hook? Will they try for it? And it does not look like they want to go for it. So, Justin...
There are sentry wards everywhere.
Yeah. Oh, he's turning around. Blinks onto the cliff. They don't see him, though. Oh, man.
There are 6 sentries on the map right now from CNB.
Well, we mentioned it in the draft. They need sentries.
5, and this one just ran out, but there was 6.
Yeah, we talked about that in the draft. That's every hero on eHug, again, aside from Enchantress, has the invisibility spells, and Mirana's global. So they need those sentries to make sure they're not the ones getting initiated on. They want to be the initiators, and if they can catch out, again, if they can find Justin alone, if they can find Cakes alone, if they can find anyone alone, pick them off, they can take a fight. The only issue is buybacks, but we saw how that went for them.
Yeah, that buyback's still on cooldown for about 2 minutes from Justin, so they don't want to maybe go too crazy. Because if Justin gets picked off, their teamfight starts to fall apart. CNB's teamfight is very, very strong. They've got a Necro, too, that they just completed up on King Grand here. So they're ready to push in 5-man and challenge eHug to these 5-man engagements, which could go well, but they need to take out those priority targets. They need to stop Epicenter, because the Blink Dagger is almost up, so that could be pretty difficult here for Pandago. For them to stop Pandago, rather. And we've got a full Mjolnir up on Jugabilly right now. Now he's going into what looks to be a Helm of Dominator. Some of you might say, those
Justin
are both
in trouble
orbs.
up top lane. They're going to go ahead and put the Leech Seed on him with the Demonic Purge. The Haste Rune is gone, and they drop the Sunstrike. He will fall. A little, well, actually very over-aggressive from him. Not respecting the Shadow Demon.
Yeah, I think that's going to cue them in that CNB is just grouping right now, so they need to play a little more careful, not give up any of these pickoffs, because now that they've got a Necro 2 up, that pickoff is essentially going to lead to this tower falling.
Yeah, that's going to help give CNB a nice influx of gold, and if they drop this tier 2, they have plenty of opportunity to go try to get the tier 1 bottom
mad in the mid lane, though. Do they? Yeah, they're going to get him. It wasn't as clean as it... Well, it was as clean as it could have been, but it got a little messy because he became unstunned and had something to say. But they get him down, no casualties there. So 1 for 1, but they take a tower from CNB, and a CNB also kills that Templar Assassin. So definitely worked out a little bit better for them.
So some extra vision coming out from them, and that is going to help a lot.
Really
it's also going to make this tier 1 push on bottom unstoppable. So that's another little bit of influx on gold. In fact, there's 2 tier 1s that they can just easily pick off with that Necro 3.
Yeah, well, the thing is, they picked up a Necro 3, which is great. You're like, Necro 3, how's eHug going to fight into this? But you've got Enchantress. You can just enchant one of the Necro units. And then that's like, you can think of that as almost 3,000 gold net worth shift just from that enchant, right? If you count both of the units and a full cost of a Necro 3 divided by 2.
Yeah, but then you kill the Necro 3 and you get an extra 200 gold.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd rather enchant the red one and get that aura, and also if someone kills it, they're going to be taking a buttload of damage. So, I don't know.
Yeah,
it's an
I guess
interesting thought.
That's one of the downsides, especially when you pick it up in Enchantress. I didn't think of that, but dire side advantage right now. There's a double damage rune, no sentries up, but they did walk over a Psionic Trap. So they're going to go ahead and grab the Roshan, and eHug are booking it.
Yeah, they're definitely responding.
Roshan is falling close to about half health, and yeah,
they do
CNB
not have the physical damage to do this. Yeah, they have to leave.
So CNB, or eHug rather, they see Roshan retreating back to his nice little comfortable home at half HP. So they're going to be sitting close by and waiting for CNB to go ahead and... What is that? I don't know. Someone Google Translate for me and put that in the Twitch chat.
I see Klotz, though, and that makes me think of Klotz 22. But look at this, eHug going in for the snipe here. They saw Roche was about half HP with the Sonic Trap. They have a double damage, and now CNB, they're too scared to contest this, so that kind of backfired a little bit. Pandago, did he just take a hook to the face with that Blink Dagger to block the pit? Wow, that was, I think that's what he did, and if so, that was quite a play here from Pandago.
Was that a play that he intended to make? Or just blink under the cliff?
I think so. Because look at the Psionic Trap, right? I think Clockwork just walked straight over it, and then Pandago blinked right here. Literally just hit the hook.
That is pretty next level. Kudos out to Pandago. Some pretty nice support play coming out from him. And now we start seeing eHug start to de-ward. I'm surprised they haven't picked up a gem as of yet, but I guess they don't want to pick up
Probably
a
scared
gem
of giving it away.
Yeah, against when you're a team that relies on invisibility, but... At the moment, I think they're feeling pretty confident that they're not going to give it away. An Aghanim Scepter upgrade has been coming out for the Viper, though, so that long-range Viper Strike is going to help in conjunction with the Demonic Purge, slowing down the mobility of eHug. But right now, there is a Roche on Justin, so these single pickoffs aren't going to really help as much as they could. Now, if he is alone, you can easily take out 2 lives, but a quick reaction can turn a fight.
Jigglebilly's got a ton of gold. He's got 4,200 right now. I wonder what he's... Is this just a casual Morbid mask, or does he want to go like Mask of Madness BKB or Helm of the Dominator even?
I'd go Helm into Satanic. I don't think I'd go for the Mask of Madness, but... I mean, you could, in conjunction with the Leap and the Mjolnir. Could be a lot of attack speed, but... Oh, bottom lane, it looks like we're going to have an engagement. The Courier could be in a little bit of trouble. Barely gets away. Now CNB, they're all around here, ready for the engagement. And Pandago is feeling a little out of place right now. He charges up the epicenter, though. Finds in the middle of 3, but can't quite focus down a hero. Ends up getting close to taking out the Necronomicon creep. Amashib Sucks, though, is going to find the Treant Protector, and Shadow Demon will end up dropping to Sand King.
Yeah, really nicely done there, though, by Treant, using his invisibility, the Nature's Guise there, to sort of just spread out that team fight, completely separated eHug. And Pandago went in, and then there was absolutely no follow-up. So beautiful play from CNB. Unfortunately, they find themselves so far behind right now that they still lose 2 there. They do get the tower. Was it denied? No. King Grant got the last hit on that tower. So pretty decent trade there for CNB.
Yeah, great. Not amazing for CNB. 2 kills for a kill and a tower, but definitely gives them a little bit of an influx that they could definitely use to bring this game back. I mean, it's hitting the 30-minute mark, that sweet spot for mid-game to late-game carries to start really coming into effect, and Justin and Jigglebilly have already long past snowballed, and, well, 6,200 on Jigglebilly. What could he Oh, he just casually Manta style.
There you go, Manta.
There we go.
That one-stop shop. I mean, sometimes you don't want to be bothered to go to the store twice.
Yeah, I know, right? So a cat, just a straight-out buy for Manta style. Eliminates his buyback, I believe. No, he still has it, so...
Still pretty early in the game. I mean, it's only 27 minutes. There's just been so much action. It feels like a 40-minute game.
I know, right? And, you know, I would have expected if CNB didn't give up as many kills as they did in the early game, that mid-fight went their way, that this game would be completely flipped. But... again, that just shows how in the early game you give an ultra kill to that big of a snowballing hero, and you can't really expect the game to go well after that.
All right, well, all of CNB, they're going to smoke up because they want to do something. They want to smoke up. They don't want to give up. They're trying to find a pick-off, but unfortunately, the mid tower is all the way pushed in, so they can kind of realize that no one is here. Finally, Invoker shows his face, so maybe now they don't expect a smoke gank. I mean, worst case for eHug, I'm a Sheep gets picked off, but that doesn't really seem too bad at this point. He's not worth all that much. He's level 14, so he doesn't give up too much XP.
So the word is out from the Twitch chat, by the way. What was said in chat, they have equally no idea. So
nice. All right.
Yeah. So no definitive answer for them. I guess I'll just leave it be, but we're looking at an engagement going to be happening fairly soon in the middle lane. Both teams kind of rearing their end. A cat ready to pounce, but neither one really wants to commit right now. eHug, they're feeling really comfortable. They just want to force towers. They want to split them up and make sure that they can just get this extra last bit of gold before they decide to fight again.
Yeah, a little bit of Rat Dota coming out. A couple of people showing themselves in the mid lane while Jigglebilly goes top.
Is it really Rat Dota, though, when they're this far ahead?
Yeah, not really. It's kind of just like do whatever you want, Dota, but try not to give up yourselves.
Yep.
1 tier 2 remains, middle lane here.
Yeah, Tavo is split pushing onto the bottom lane, though, getting some good damage on this tower. No reaction to take this. Now we see a reaction. It's going to be Justin. Tavo's going to book it from here on out. No way he wants to fight this one, but that means that Justin isn't in the fight. Justin isn't mid lane, and that opens up a little bit of room if CNB want to decide to try to push the envelope.
Yeah, well, the Aegis actually is going to expire here in 1 minute's time, a little bit less than that, so Justin will lose that. I mean, I guess they won a team fight. They took 2 tier 2 towers with it, so they put it to use. There wasn't a big risk of Justin going down, considering how far ahead they were in this game. But I think they got the worth out of it. They obviously denied the Roche and the Aegis from CNB in a moderately funny manner. Just kind of running them out of the pit and then taking it themselves, right? Like, this is ours, thanks. Thanks for weakening it for us.
It's what you expect right now from eHug. I mean, when you're this far ahead, I would have expected them to take Roshan at least 15 minutes ago, but nah, they waited until CNB got down to half health and then said, thanks, yep, we're going to take this now. And egg is actually going to expire in 4 seconds. And what that means is that CNB eHug need to be a little bit more careful. CNB knows this, but the tier 2 mid is just going to fall, and CNB aren't really feeling exactly comfortable to try to initiate onto this.
Yeah, well, Invoker's actually got some decent right clicks, so maybe going uphill into an Overgrowth and those long-range Aghanim Scepter. Oh, Dire Courier is going to go down. What was on it? Actually, I want to check it out real quick. That's the wrong key. Nothing was on it, so what was on a return trip or maybe just going to the Super Shop? They find Cakes, though. Sentry dropped. Demonic Purge, Soul Catcher, everything. He will get blown up. He's actually going to hand over the gem as well. Now Sheep trying to get something done, but he's not going to be able to take on them 1v4, so Sheep on the Enchantress is also going to be falling. Going to delay his maybe not. He's trying to get out of here. He's the untouchable, so he is literally untouchable. You cannot touch this. And will he get away? No. The Soul Catcher proves a little too much, but here comes the Cavalry. The rest of the team showing up. Jigglypuff with a double kill. Now he looks to go here. 4 staff and the TP out. The arrow is going to be missed. Justin blinks in, but it's a second too late. So do they reclaim the gem? Sunstrike. Pandago will live. The gem is back on Pandago as well, so he's got that for him.
I believe it was AAC that said it, but watching a team try to kill an Enchantress when she has Untouchable and Nature's Guide, or Nature's Attendants, is hilarious. They could not kill her. They were all right-click damage, and when you've got the stun, the Cold Snap that relies on the right-click, they just could not do anything. They were attacking at the speed of just slow. No other way to describe it. Just slow. And
molasses, maybe.
Molasses, maybe. I don't know. I feel there was no word to do justice how hilarious, how comical that was.
With the Soul Catcher, with Demonic Purge, even just the poison ticking down from Viper is a bit of damage, but they really have no magic bursts besides like a Sunstrike landing, which did actually land, and I thought that was going to be the nail in the coffin. But she lives, definitely extends the play, allows everyone else to show up because so much was wasted on a poor old Enchantress, who they did eventually kill, but then Jigglypuff showed up and murdered everybody, and here he finds Baga. He's being run down though, hook over from Ned. Jigglypuff could be caught out. He's got Leap, but he's going to be sheeped up here. That's a new item here coming out from Invoker along with the Necro 3. He does leap over the tree, and then now the rest of the team is going to show up. Invoker brought down almost immediately. Cakes looks to go on to Nedbo. Can he cancel the TP? He will cancel the TP. He's going to need to run, though, as Justin and everyone else. I'm not sure what they were chasing, but they do finally finish off the clockwork.
Yeah, that's pretty close to nail in the coffin right now for CNB. I mean, eHug, they have a hard up on Mirana. So try killing this this crazy woman. Templar Assassins got the crit, Deso, and Blink Up, as well as 4 staff on Sand King. Cakes Medallion with a BKB, and I'm a Sheep Sucks well past his Aghanims and plenty of items and a little bit of gold on top of that. I mean, the CNB have nothing to stop this now, and you see the 4 staff plus Blink, Pandago. Look at that initiation range. Tavo trying to make some work onto Justin, but the damage coming out from I'm a Sheep Sucks and Cakes is proving to be a little bit too much. He's going to have to turn tail and run. Meanwhile, the tier 3 will drop as well as Rax. And the 4 is coming out, but I feel like the GG is not close behind. Now a double stun on Tavo and Baga. They're both going to fall. Cakes dropping fairly low to Nedbone with that Blade Mail. He's doing some pretty decent return damage, but Jigglypuff will end up picking up the kill. The lifesteal is a little too... No, he doesn't have lifesteal anymore. What the hell?
Yeah, because he sold it for the heart, which, I mean, this is not your standard Mirana build. You shouldn't just be building a heart every game, but it makes sense in this game, right? They recognize that CNB just absolutely does not have enough damage to kill anybody with just an Enchantress heal online. So you pick up a heart, you're already so tanky, and you're right-clicking for quite a bit anyways. They're going to jump in, they pick off that Invoker. They might be able to get this Viper as well. Here comes ADR looking to put some defensive disruptions down. Actually, just a Demonic Purge. Now he disrupts himself. Baga runs in, dies immediately. Just didn't even know what hit him. Justin looking to chase down the rest, but meanwhile, the GG has been called here in a game number 1.
So, game 1 over. Going to be going to game 2 with a 1-game advantage going the way of eHug. Definitely not what I expected out of this game. I figured CNB could be able to hold the game fairly early on, but they were not able to grab the early advantage as well as they'd want and gave a little bit too much to eHug. So, going into game 2, if they pick up a similar draft, they want to really lock down their early game, not like they did this one.
Just don't give away that ultra kill to Justin, and this game could have been a whole lot closer. It really started to snowball out of control in the mid lane. But yeah, I'm Helium. You can follow me on Twitter at Heliumbrella. We'll just go back to the cameras real quick. That's Chicago Ted. You can follow him at TedCast, and we'll be back with game number 2 of a potential 3 in just a moment.
All right.